We're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
That's great that you're praying, but
how about all the kids that died when the USA hit the towers?
It broke my heart. That is the.
Evidently, Erika Kirk was real upset about Druski's post, so she commented, "Druski, this is sick. You fully dressed up as me, copied my look, my voice, my mannerisms, and turned me into a joke for millions of people. But let me guess, when it's done, to me, it's suddenly comedy. But if I did anything remotely comparable, y'all would be trying to ruin my life. This is racist, humiliating, and you know exactly what you're doing." First and foremost, when Robert Downey Jr. did this whole blackface thing, a great deal of people from the Higgly challenged cross-section of society thought it was hilarious and it wasn't really a big deal. However, a number of so-called black folks were up in arms about it, Spike Lee being one of them, very vocal, and letting y'all know that this was inappropriate. Secondly, when we start talking about racism, you have to think, what is communism? What is capitalism? Those are systems. That's what the ism is about. Where is the system in the United States of America that so-called black people can lean back on as far as it pertains to abuse so-called white people? What system do black people have in place? See, there is none. Just like, no, you can be a communist living in the USA all you want. It's just that you don't have anybody to do communist things with unless you build up your own little, little Russia. The places where they're not having ICE raids, right? Now, next, let's move on to this whole social truth or truth social post about the obeses being primates. This, along with blackface, are both monikers of the time of Jim Crow, when the vilification of the so-called Negro was occurring to keep us systematically as lesser beings. They had social to the upwards of legislated laws on the books that said black folks and white folks are not equal. Can't even drink out of the same water fountain. When just the other day, y'all was letting mammies serve your children from her teat, but we couldn't drink out of the same water fountain. So yeah, the minstrel shows that blackface comes from has nothing in comparison to what Druski did to Mrs. Clark here, who went on a tour right after her husband was allegedly assassinated by another pigmentally challenged person. No. At first they were like, oh, the left did it. The left. When has the left been running around? No. The so-called conservatives have a rich history, including the Ku Klux Klan, which is now supposed to be the Knights Party and with the national director instead of a grand wizard. But you don't see the evangelists, the Christians. You don't see them denouncing the Klan. Maybe they didn't see the post about the Klan believing themselves as, divinely gifted, the earth being gifted to them and them all making it to heaven. Whereas the national director, the grand wizard, could not actually say that a black man could be saved in Christ, even though Christ himself was, you know what? It's just so sloppy with you people. Y'all make it sick. Oh yeah, if y'all know blackface is wrong, why is it every Halloween y'all are telling Negroes to get over it when we see your people putting blackface on in your own zip code?
REX